Welcome to SVGTV's news for Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. Cabinet has given its approval for the taxi operators' fiscal incentives policy, which includes duty-free concessions on motor vehicles used to transport visitors on excursions, other chartered operations, and the provision of taxi services within the country. This was disclosed on radio today by Prime Minister Dr. Afghan Saus, who said the decision on the policy and concession for taxi operators came as a result of a memorandum put forward to Cabinet on September 20th, 2023 by the Ministry of Tourism.
Vehicles granted concessions under this program must not ply routes as public service transport. To do so will constitute a violation of the terms and conditions of this incentives program. The reason why you can't have it, if you have somebody get, let's say, by a Noah, and you're using it as regular transport to come from Georgetown to town, but you're competing against, you get concessions, but the man who you're competing against, you get no concessions. It's different in relation to those vehicles which get concessions to take school children because they have to ply the routes for particular times, and during that times they can't take up other people. They can't compete otherwise. Outside of those hours they can. Okay? Policy objectives. The aims of the policy are: A, to create an enabling environment for tourism taxi service providers, in particular to operate viable and reliable businesses. B, encourage greater investment in modern, reliable, and safe motor vehicles to meet the transportation demands associated with the expanding of the traveling public and the tourism sector. C, facilitate enhanced and comfortable transportation services for visitors and Vincentians who patronize the tourism sector.
Outlining the eligibility criteria, Prime Minister Gonsalves said all applicants for the taxi concessions must be registered and licensed as stipulated in the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Act and be in compliance with the annual license fees and registration payments for the last 3 consecutive years.
In other words, you have to be in this business. And you have to have your house in order, Johnny P. Otherwise, somebody might just come and get the concession and have it as a private vehicle. Johnny P? 2, taxi operators must be, these are the eligibility criteria, must be in good standing in terms of licenses and taxes with the Inland Revenue Department and be registered with the NIS and be in good standing as voluntary contributors. We can't be giving you the concession and you don't pay your license and you don't pay your taxes. And since we're strengthening the NIS too, register as a voluntary contributor because you're working by yourself. Your own account worker. 3rd, eligibility criteria. All vehicles must be used primarily for the provision of transportation services for tours and general taxi services around St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 4, taxis as well as tour buses must be licensed with an LC registration plate. So you can see the difference between them and other vehicles. 5, taxi operators of vehicles must be familiar with and adhere to the requirement of the national standards for taxi services. Well, we have training for taxi operators, The St. Vincent Tourism Authority does this. I mean, you have to know how to treat people, Johnny P. You have to have the training. You have to be tidy. Johnny P? It's a business, man. And it's a service. We all got up with game. 6, if the vehicle is sold within 4 years, duties and taxes become payable on a pro rata basis in keeping with the duties and taxes exemption in the Public Interest Act. Because if you buy it, Johnny P, and you operate it for a few months a year, whereas every 4 years, you could get one. It means, Johnny P, that you could buy it, operate it, have it for a couple of months, then send it to somebody else. But you get the advantage of the concession. So if you're going to do that, you have to pay back on a pro rata basis.
In regards to the terms and conditions of the taxi operators' fiscal incentives policy, the Prime Minister said the concessions will be granted to one vehicle not more than 6 years old within a 4-year period.
Want to spread it. Johnny P, want to spread it. If somebody having a taxi company, well, they could apply in the usual way and an assessment would be made. But this is for the individual taxi operators. 2, the vehicle should be a motor car or SUV or minivan with seating capacity of a minimum of 5 persons, including the driver. 3, vehicles granted concessions under this program must not ply the routes as public service transport. To do so will constitute a violation of the terms and conditions of this incentives program. That's a repeat of something which you said earlier. 4, if any term or condition of this policy is violated, penalties will be imposed in accordance with the Customs Control and Management Act. 5, and this is one which people want to know. They say, well, all right, we go comply with all of that, but let me find out how much we're going, or the dollars and cents now. Taxi operators receiving concessions will be exempt from the payment of import duties, excise duty, vehicle charge, and VAT as follows. Vehicles up to 1 year, you'll get 100% duty free, encouraging you to buy newer ones. Vehicles 2 to 3 years, you'll get 75%. Vehicles 4 to 6 years, you get 50%. Now, I just want to sound a warning about this. You have to get reputable people who you're importing vehicle from. I don't want you to import a vehicle. Say you ask a man to send a vehicle for you for 3 years, up to 3 years, but you send a vehicle for 7 years. So you want to get a blight. You ain't get no blight. Eh? What you and your Japanese partner do, that's all your business. You over's where I'm coming from.
Yes.
Eh? Anybody will see that these are very generous concessions.
It was further outlined by the Prime Minister that all applications for the taxi operators' fiscal incentives, along with copies of supporting documents, must be submitted to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism. Any applicants who is said to be aggrieved with the decision of the Director General of the Ministry of Finance may submit an appeal to Cabinet within 21 days of the date the letter communicating the decision. The taxi operators' fiscal incentives policy came into effect on Sunday, October 1st, 2023, and will last for an initial period of 18 months up to March 21st, 2025. A national symposium on the cruise and shipping industry was held yesterday by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Port Authority at the NIS Conference Room. Chairman of the SVG Port Authority, Sir Leanne Russell, said that the symposium creates an opportunity for the authority to lead on the issues such as decarbonization, cyber security, and communications on systems.
The symposium came really out of an event. I journeyed with the CEO and Ekron, the IT manager, to CSA. Is it CSA, right? Yes. Yes, CSA in April. And the discussions that were being held were discussion around decarbonization, cybersecurity, data standards, renewable offshore power, renewable onshore power that ships would look at requiring going forward. Topics that in my wearing another hat as a banker that are being discussed in that industry, but in terms of this industry, the logistics, port authority, the stakeholders, I'm not hearing these kind of discussion. And these are the topics that are going to shape the future in terms of how we engage. And I told Carl, no, the Port Authority has to take its rightful place in providing leadership in terms of the industry. They have done that in the past, and we have to move back and continue to provide that leadership to make sure that these issues become a reality in terms of our discussion.
Chief Executive Officer of the SVG Port Authority, Carl James, said the symposium is timely, adding that the maritime port industry is constantly evolving.
In the past decades and centuries, there have been changes in things like the vessel size, changes in the equipment used to handle cargo, changes in terminal size and layout. Additionally, there are changes in ownership structure and the regulatory environment. In more recent times, we have seen the development of megaports, the adoption of digitization. We've observed that ports have adjusted their business model and are now competing for business outside of traditional port activities. Last but not least, we have witnessed the industry adopt initiatives to decarbonize the maritime space. The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Port Authority is cognizant of the changes in the maritime environment, and we are also appreciative of the fact that together everyone achieves more, and working in isolation will not yield the best results for everyone affected and involved. Therefore, we intend to take a consultative approach towards addressing the challenges and changes in the industry.
The primary objective of the symposium was to share information and facilitate discussions regarding the ongoing transformations taking place within the cruise ships industries. These changes encompass various aspects, including decarbonization of the maritime space and the digitization of the industry and cybersecurity implications, as digitization is being adopted. Leader of the opposition New Democratic Party, Dr. Godwin Friday, said St. Vincent and the Grenadines cannot afford to lose its brightest stars, the young people, and every effort must be made to provide them with opportunities here at home to strive and contribute to national development. The opposition leader was at the time outlining the party's plans for the nation's young people if voted into office at the launch of its National Youth Guarantee Pledge on Monday evening at Bungalow in Villa.
That we in the New Democratic Party, we pledge to you, our young people, that by the end of our first term in government, every young person in this country will have the opportunity of a job or a training program or a placement or an internship with an employer. Now understand this. Somebody may look at it and say, well, this is fine, this guy is not. If you are not working as a young person, what is the obligation of the state or the government to you? Is it just to leave you to go and scratch for yourself? Or does it say, well, listen, you see all those fellows who used to be in farming and they no longer are able to do that because they kill agriculture? How do we enable them to retrain and retool to be able to do real jobs here in our economy? The point of the matter is this: if you're not in a job, you should have an opportunity to train. We are not saying that everybody will take the opportunity, but I will take the responsibility of providing that opportunity for them. We also have said, and you heard me say this last time during the last election, that if you don't have a job, you're not in the training program because you have done that already, then we will find placement opportunities, internship for young people to get a leg into the world of work. Actively set up department and the ministries to do this for them, not as a matter of political favor, but as a function of a department of government to help young people to find their place in this country, in this economy. That is something that is not just doable, it is a duty, it's an obligation that we have to the young people of this country when you hear that 41% of them are unemployed.
The NDP leader also outlined some of the projects they plan to create and provide in government for the development of the youths, including a premier sporting facility in North Windward and the use of the Otley Hall Marina and a shipyard on the job training opportunities.
I've spoken about the Otley Hall Marina. just now, that we have in that facility the opportunity to provide jobs for our young people. Yesterday, I was chatting with someone, and he was lamenting the fact, and this is somebody who owns a ferry, he's in the ferry business, lamenting the fact that they all have to go down to Trinidad or to Grenada just to do regular repairs or cleaning of the bottoms of their boats as required by the insurers. And this facility is recognized as the best in the Southern Caribbean. And it has not been developed, nothing has been done with it by the government. And I urge anyone here to go down and have a look at it. It will bring tears to your eyes, the way in which it has been neglected, and it's completely rusty. For the young people, here's what I say to you. This facility, well developed, can provide skill jobs in welding, carpentry, electrician, in all kinds of skills, diving, accounting, all kinds of ancillary services that could create between 100 and 150 direct jobs out of that facility. More than that, it will be joined with the community college as part of the training program to give our young people an opportunity to do real on-the-job training, not something in a classroom where you're welding and you don't have enough materials. This is how you give people real experience, real job experience, so that they can function in our economy, not in something that's created somewhere in a textbook. And if they want to choose to leave here and to go work in Antigua, then that is a choice. Nobody say you don't want to do that. But you shouldn't be forced to do it because you don't have an opportunity here in St. Louis.
The month of activities to commemorate this country's 44th anniversary of independence were launched yesterday at the Carnival Development Corporation Conference Room. This year's activities are being held under the theme, Our Fortitude, Our People, Our Identity, Road to 45. Addressing the ceremony, representative of the National Independence Committee, Ashford Wood, said that the Declaration for Independence has started in and around Kingston, and that the National Independence Committee will be taking things one step further this year with the addition of the figurine across the island.
We started to decorate the city, and this year we are taking it one step further, in that we are going to be putting up some figurines in strategic positions in and around Kingston. For example, pretty soon when you drive across or you walk across the tarmac, you are going to be seeing a figurine, and this one would represent Vincimas, and it would basically be saying the Carnival Development Corporation, which is the nation, happy independence. You come up to Sion Hill, you are going to be seeing one representing 9 mornings, saying the same thing. When you hit into the market square in Kingston, one would be there representing harvest, because we know the market represents food. When you go to Beckway, Beckway is known for regatta, sailing, so we're going to have something down there representing that. Leeward, a lot of fish. You hear fish fest in Baga, you hear fish fest in Leyu, you hear fish fest all about the place. So when you hit in the area of Gibson Corner, you are going to be seeing another figurine there representing fish fest. And down in North Leeward, known for sports, known for culture. After all, they produce guys like Fireman, they produce guys like Keswick Williams. So we are going to be having figurines down there representing sports and culture.
Wood said a lot of effort is also focused this year on the reintroduction of the Best Village competition as part of the program of activities.
The groups to tidy up, put on a colorful display, and highlight the uniqueness of their village, their neighborhood, without taking anything away from its natural beauty. The main objective of this venture is to promote community cleanup and tidiness, to foster camaraderie among villagers, and to beautify the environment. Like every competition, it has categories, and I'm not going deep into them because I want to say to you, forms are out. Communities have already started to do their cleaning up. For example, I like to boast in my community, when you pass around the Spy area, see we start. In Leyu has taken it one step further. In fact, they're actually having a best village, a best community competition in Leyu.
Would outline how the competition is being judged with a winning price tag of $10,000 and cleaning tools.
So they have the categories. It is the best kept surroundings, the best flower garden, best community spirit, best village award would come from those categories. So you now can enter into the best flower garden, and that would be judged separately. You can enter in the best kept surroundings. That would be judged separately. You can be judged for best community spirit. That would be judged separately. And when we put all of them together, we come up with the best village award. Very good prizes. The winner walks away with $5,000. The second place walks away with $3,000. The third place walks away with $2,000. That is $10,000. And since we are concentrating on dealing with cleaning, we are going to be giving away things such as wheelbarrows, shovels, cutlasses, etc.
The Miss SVG pageant this year will see several changes. This is according to chairperson of the Beauty Shows Committee, Avia Charles, during the media launch of the Independence Month of activities held on Tuesday at the CDC's conference room. According to Charles, the Miss SVG pageant this year will see the return of the cultural wear and other activities that would promote the country's unique culture.
Are ready. There are a few changes that we have done this year. More importantly, we have brought back the cultural wear element of the Miss SVG pageant. Last year, we focused on different elements of what makes us truly Vincentian. But this year, Calypso lovers, I know for sure, would love the introduction of this. We are paying homage to the Calypso industry. Each contestant will wear a costume that represents or is reflective of a Calypsonian, a local Calypsonian song. So that would be truly a twist to see how she interprets that song and what her cultural wear will reflect from that song. We're also splitting one of our categories this year. The Best Evening Wear segment will be split into Best Evening Wear and Best in Evening Wear. One of the things we've noted, we try to do as much as possible some reflection to see how we can continuously improve. We know for a fact that in the past there are some contestants that may have had the best evening wear but not necessarily carried it best. So we wanted to ensure that we are fair across the board. So we split that category. It is still the same 25 points, but you will of course learn more about the breakdown on the night of the show. There is also an introductory element of Miss SVG this year. Traditionally, it was done for many of you pageant lovers. You would know that in the past, the contestants would wear a costume and then they would have a speech. So there is an introductory piece that the contestants will be doing. We're somewhat looking at enhancing the Miss SVG show and ensuring that it meets international standards, or we are as close as possible to international standard. So
9 contestants will be vying for the Miss SVG title this Saturday at the Victoria Park from 8 p.m. Charles used the opportunity to invite all of SVG to come out and support the contestants.
And that means we are a few days away from the highly anticipated Miss SVG pageant, which happens on October 7th. I know for many persons the date is also new. I see a face, a look of confusion, because you're probably used to it being on October, late October, considering we changed last year, but very importantly, Miss SVG is happening this Saturday, 8 p.m. in Victoria Park. The red carpet events starts at 7 p.m. The contestants are On the home stretch, preparations began for the pageant in February, March this year, and we have 9 contestants from across St. Vincent and the Grenadines, including, because there is a contestant that is originally from the island of Canawan, but she now resides in St. Vincent. When you come this year, you kind of get a Miss Universe type of feeling to the pageant, so we are looking forward to having you with us. Tickets are now $75. We're out of early bird tickets.
The public is invited to vote for their top pick in the 2023 national pageant. Voting for the Carigold People's Choice Award will close on midday Saturday, October 7th, 2023. Sergeant of Police Sean Chandler has expressed concern with the increase in incidents involving van drivers and conductors reportedly assaulting police officers and/or resisting arrest. Sergeant Chandler, who was a guest on the Police on the Beat program recently discussing police powers under the Criminal Procedure Code, said such actions could lead to serious charges.
Stuff like infamy, like they would tell the police, "You're stupid."
Yes,
you're
insulting
foolish.
language.
Right. You can be arrested for that.
Yes.
Use
Yeah.
of obscene languages on a police.
Correct.
You can be arrested for that. Now, back to the issue with the minibus conductors. If such individuals know for a fact that you infringe on the law, because there are times they would do it, and I would say to them, if I'm there, I say, you know you fail to comply with the traffic regulation.
Yes.
So I say, well, if you don't know that, you should not be driving. Right? So they know they infringe on the law. The police come in to deal with you. You would be normal. But the minute as a passenger sees something,
Yes.
the driver and the conductor usually get hyped.
Yes.
Right? And they feel that it's one police, it's a young police, I am going to, let me use the street talk, I'm going to shake off that police.
Yeah.
Right? But the listening public.
Or they say, run up on them.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Run up on them.
these persons must understand it doesn't matter how small a police officer is, how much service that officer have, that person have the power
It's vested
in him or her to do the job of the state.
Yes.
On civilians refusing to give law enforcement officers information as requested, Sergeant Dwight Lewis said this is also an offense and appealed to the members of the public to cooperate with the police.
It is also an offense where a person, when asked his name or his address, gives the police officer a wrong name and a wrong address, and the police officer knows that the answer the person is given is false.
Yes.
So I mean, I know that at times persons are passionate regarding themselves. Some may want to look good and cool in front of their friends, and they are not mindful of some of the offenses that they can commit by them trying to act cool and trying to be nice with their friends. So I'm just pleading to persons out there, especially the van. I mean, I'm not picking on the van drivers or conductors, but it seems to be that we are getting a lot of complaints based on van drivers and conductors. I mean, I'm mindful that the way police officers approaches persons may need some adjustment. However, persons in the public must realize that police officer in uniform carries a lot of weight, and they are executing their duty for the country on a whole.
Inspector of Police Renner Cato outlined in Section 22 of the Criminal Procedure the guidelines which a law enforcement officer should follow when carrying out an arrest.
In making an arrest, the police officer or other person making the arrest shall touch or confine the body of the person to be arrested unless there is a submission to the custody by word or action. Now, there are some persons, they will come with you willingly. So sometimes they choose to walk, you touch them, you're under arrest, fine. There are others, they will put up a fight, especially when they see other persons around.
Yeah.
So you have to know what force to apply at that point in time when you're making an arrest. Sometimes you also have to be aware of the environment, the persons around. Sometimes you look at the offense also. Is it one of those offenses that I can go and come back? So all these things have taken consideration when making an arrest. But it is clear here as to how the arrest should be made by a police officer.
The Criminal Procedure Code deals with procedure in which criminal cases, highlighting offenses, procedure in which matters are brought before the court, and guiding persons regarding criminal cases. In other news now, an alarming amount of garbage were removed from the river located next to the Belair Mineral Spa by residents and members of Greenhouse Labs SVG, GHL, SVG during a cleanup exercise of the small community last Saturday, September 30th. Executive Director of Greenhouse Labs SVG, Nashika Davis, is appealing to the users of the spa and persons living in the community to stop littering and polluting the river.
Where I'm standing here, you can smell the scent of a dead animal that is inside of the river right behind of me. It is so heartbreaking to know that this same water that is flowing here, it is reaching in the sea. I'm appealing to all the users of the spa to please keep the environment clean. I'm appealing to all the people in the community to stop throwing their garbage inside of the river. Leptospirosis, dengue fever, mosquito-borne disease. These diseases, they are real. And if you continue with this action, people will get sick. So we are urging the people in the community, the people around, the users of the spa to stop littering. If you bring bottles that you no longer want, please throw it in the garbage or take it back home and throw it in your garbage.
Members of the Greenhouse Lab SVG and other persons who were involved in the cleanup exercise last Saturday said they were happy to be a part of it and encourage others to get involved in cleaning up and keeping the environment clean.
Make sure we do a good cleanup for the community. Everybody who come to this spa must be able to put their utensils, their bottles, and throw them in one garbage, so that we will keep the environment clean. That they won't go down in the drain and damage all the, we go down and damage your fishes and your river fishes and all kind of thing in the river, in the seawater, damage the future generation. So we will do a good job. Everybody come together and do their part, and everything will be clean.
A while ago, if everybody do their part in cleaning up the spa, everything would be nice. But some people come and they drop the bottle here and there, and they just leave and leave the job to someone to do the tidying. So it's really a good thing what they're doing right now, and I do hope that it will continue.
All right, I think it's very essential, especially down in Cherry. All right. That they want a man to do clean there, because every day, because people just come and drop the bottle, the man said a while ago, and down there's been a mess, and to scrub off the moss, off the stone.
Everybody do their part, the place will be clean.
Yeah.
Everyone, today we have a spa cleanup inside and outside, and we are kindly asking persons who come on a daily to fetch their water from the spa, if you could kindly refrain from throwing bottles within the passageway for the outlet of the water, because while, as you can see, tons of bottles at the exit of the culvert that pass underneath beneath me. So please and thank you, refrain from throwing water bottles in the passageway.
Keep it clean!
The cleanup campaign will continue this Saturday, October 7th from 9 a.m. Residents and other users of the spa are asked to join the cleanup exercise. The Sinclair Dakin Secondary School will be celebrating its 40th anniversary as an educational institution with a series of activities next week. The celebration activities will be held under the theme Braver Hearts, Bigger Dreams, 40 Years and Beyond. Starting off as a junior secondary school on October 10, 1983, with 2 forms, the educational institution has since upgraded to a full secondary school. In 2005, the name of the school was officially changed to the Sinclair Dakin Secondary School in recognition of the contributions made by Sinclair Dakin, a distinguished educator and politician. In a telephone interview with SVG-TV News, Principal Eve Knights outlined the week of activities which will be held by the school to celebrate its 40th anniversary milestone.
So the 10th, which is the actual anniversary, we are going to be having a church service at the Diamond Deliverance Assembly Church. That church where Pastor Bascom is the pastor there. On Wednesday, 11th October, we are going to have a career day. Our students are all excited about it. They are all looking forward to, the act of dressing up and playing that part of their future role. On Thursday, the 12th October, we are going to have a give back segment where we're going to, be visiting various shoppings and we would be distributing food baskets. Also, we will be having a sporting event in the afternoon here at the school premises. A significant event that we will be doing on that day. We will be planting monuments and so on, so that the students who come in the next 5 years, they would dig them up and, as a form of a relic. On that day, we will be having a bus trip. This bus trip will be going toward the leeward side of the island. We will be traveling from the school compound on to Camden Park, the Camden Park Industrial Estate. There we will be visiting various institutions, various establishments.
Principal Knight said that the school will continue to strive for improvement as it relates to the students' behavior and academics.
As our team says, Braver Hearts, Bigger Dreams, 40 years and beyond, we are focused on this motto, on this theme. We hope that we will help students going forward to attain the dreams that they foresee, and we are hoping that we will, as we move forward, we will aid in improving their behavior and our academic performances. We are really aiming toward improving all of that. So as we go forward, our main aim is to become the best rural secondary school in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So that is where our focus is, improvement in students' behavior. We have mastered that. We are there. Now we are focusing on improving student performances.
Knights also said the staff of the school will continue to work hard for the overall development of the students and encourage parents to continue to give the school their full support in taking the institution forward.
Just want to continue to encourage our current staff to continue to work assiduously. I want to encourage the parents in particular to continue to give us that fund support that they have been given. We cannot move forward as an institution effectively if we don't have parents on board. Parental involvement is vital. So I am encouraging the parents out there. I'm encouraging the members of the public to just continue to give Sinclair Dakin Secondary School the support. I can say from my vantage point, we have an excellent staff, and we trust God that we will continue to grow from strength to strength, Braver Hearts, bigger dreams, 40 years and beyond.